Welcome everybody. The Fever fall to the Aces 89-81 in very familiar fashion, like a children's toy slowly running out of batteries before they fall in the fourth quarter. And the Fever always come out looking good. They got a good offensive scheme, they got good defensive assignments. They're fighting for rebounds. They have a solid first half for sure. Asia Wilson's struggling, and they're executing a lot of the keys that I talked to in my video. If you didn't have a chance to catch my pregame, kind of what to expect, what are the defensive assignments that I'm going to put out before every game, which go check it out. Like a lot of that stuff was coming to fruition. The problem is a lot of the defensive lapses also came to fruition as the game went on, not knowing our personnel in some cases for some players. But one of the main keys to the game that came to fruition is the Aces have a very soft defense. We were exploiting it incredibly. That two-woman game between Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark was popping off. We had 52 points in the paint. We had Aaliyah Boston had 26 of them, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. She also had a great defensive game against Asia Wilson, an all-time one. And Asia tried to blame it. Oh, it's just not me. I'm not playing Asia Wilson basketball. But Aaliyah Boston was working her pretty good there. Now, obviously, they found ways to get Asia comfortable. Asia started to hit her shot a little bit more, but we made it tough on them. Other thing too is Asia got her whistle back in the second half. I mean, 9 free throws for the Fever to 21 for the Aces is starting to look a little bit criminal. And also, Aaliyah Boston just continues to have one of the worst whistles in the game. That moving screen or whatever that was from Jackie Young that they went in and reviewed, and everyone was looking at it. Even Jackie Young, you could look at her face when she goes down. She's like, "Oh, that's probably on me." And they just they're like, "Nah, you lose your challenge, Fever." They get the ball, but it never should get to that point. We shouldn't be in that point in the first place, which is on us. Clark struggled to a 19 point, 11 assist game, and that stat line seems good, but again, 8 turnovers. One of the moments being like incredibly egregious because it was back-to-back turnovers. It was late in the game. We're trying to mount a comeback. Kelsey Mitchell's doing her dangest. We'll talk about her, but she just comes up and it's almost like she just like blanks out. Her hands don't move. She just kind of shuffles the ball to Jackie Young, who goes the other way and scores. And that kind of stuff can't happen. And I don't know what is going on with her, but she's now 1 for 17 from 3. I mean, like, it's good to threaten the three-pointer, but if you're off, you got to find more efficient three-point shooters on your team. And she's done that a little bit in these last few games, getting Hull or Sophie Cunningham or someone else a better deferred look off of her pressure. But I mean, man, it is rough. 20 shots, 35%. She's going a little bit kind of Enrique mode here. I mean, again, the 1 for 10 from 3 in this game, 1 for 17 overall last 2. She shot 70% from inside the 3. Like, that part was great. That, like, her driving maybe should have gotten an extra and one here or there. Of course, Wilson didn't go our way. But the way I feel right now is 1 game's a bad night, 2 games is a trend, 3 games is a slump. And hopefully we will see her bounce back. But the real problem I have is I don't know if I see that happening, just because the stretch that we have left is like just brutal time wise. The Storm are not a team that is going to be an easy matchup. In fact, I think that as opponent, that it'd be hard for the Fever in their current form to beat. Like, everybody has to be clicking on all cylinders to beat that team right now. They look good, and we just keep dying down the stretch. And I don't know what's going on with her. I don't know if the sickness. I made a post about how, did we see the flu game from Caitlin Clark because she had a cough and she was. It's just kind of like lingered along with her inability to be able to play as much as she wants to. And I know that she's probably pushing through it, and the team's, I'm sure, behind the scenes trying to load balance as much as possible. But I think we really need to consider just kind of taking the reins from her. I know she wants to play. We see the bursts, but some of those lapses just look so uncharacteristic for her that, again, it might be a little bit mental, it might be physical, it might be sickness. I don't know what it is, but the team needs to figure out a way to best help her play her best basketball. Now, we mentioned Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell saved us in the fourth quarter. If it wasn't for Kelsey Mitchell, this would have been a blowout in the fourth quarter because she came alive. She gave us 20 points, 2 steals, 2 assists. She was the spark we needed. And if we didn't have her, it was donezo. Colson didn't have terrible minutes, had some good assists, but her defensive assignment like mistakes were pretty bad. She let Jewel go right. That's a know your personnel thing that we shouldn't be doing. Switched on to Jackie Young. We didn't get help, and she just kind of got posted up on. She's a smaller guard. She shouldn't be switching on to Jackie Young. That's just a bad time. And also, she just had some lazy passes too. Now, Bree Turner, on the other hand, had some minutes where you could have convinced me. You could have convinced me and turned me around a little bit because there were some cuts, there were some moves. I was like, okay, she's not doing too bad. She's guarding Asia. She's doing her best. And these early minutes were kind of surprising. But there's lots of moments where she just wasn't confident or she was getting rejected. In fact, she, passed up an open layup out to Colson before Colson, threw away turnover. All that kind of stuff leads me to believe it's just not great quality minutes. She's pretty much always a negative when she's on the floor. On the flip side, Howard keeps getting crap. And I don't know what I have to show to prove to fans that Natasha Howard is trying to play good minutes for the Indiana Fever. She's hustling, she's rebounding. She only had 7 points in this, but she had 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals. I think the turnovers and the sloppy fouls are still the thing that kind of poke me in the eye, but she is hustling. She is running. She's not a player that is, slow, which is kind of the vets motto is that they're all slow. And I don't think that's really the case. I think that the best argument you have is maybe DeWanna Bonner, but DeWanna Bonner also hasn't played the last 3 games, so it's kind of irrelevant that the vets are slow when everyone else on that floor should be able to run. Hall played hard overall, played way better than the scoreline shows, was -6 overall, but that's just because lots of minutes on the floor, lots of minutes in the fourth quarter that didn't go well. And it's not her fault that some of those points were being given up. I'll tell you that much. Didn't get enough 3-point looks, I think, tonight. Should have been better there. Cunningham was good on the boards, but not great defensively. Gave up some open looks. Also, silly fouls, that kind of stuff. Defensively, I mean, her footwork was pretty crazy. The soccer moves are good. Soccer moves are good. I'll give her that. Defensively, we had a lot of great moments early in the game. Like we were playing Asia well. We were playing our other assignments fairly well. Chelsea Gray kind of popped up, but there's little things down the stretch, like letting Aaliyah Knight take those corner threes and burn us. And again, shout out to my defensive assignment video. A lot of the times we got burned by players, it was because we were playing them wrong in our defensive scheme. We were making the mistakes that you shouldn't make, that you should be cognizant of when you are playing in a game like this. Now, overall, this was another game where we could have won. Like, this was our game for the taking, and we just ran out of gas and sputtered in the end, which is very deflating as a fan, right? You build up your hope, and then you have the dread, and then you slowly go into a loss. It's almost worse than just like getting blown out and then getting temps in time, getting rest for your starters, where it's like you start out, you have a chance at this game, and you're burning gas to try to salvage something and have a comeback win, and it just doesn't materialize. Instead, you just kind of burn yourself out more and get a loss. And so I understand why fans are disappointed so far, but again, this season is a roller coaster. It's going to go up, it's going to go down. The Aces still look super beatable. I think we're going to beat them this year. I think we're going to snap that 0-16 streak or whatever it is now. Becky Hammond also made some good adjustments, so shout out to her as a coach. She took Jackie Young, who the first quarter, again, shout out to my video, they ran her ragged trying to guard Caitlin Clark, and she wasn't as effective offensively. And then what did they do? They put Dana Evans on her. They put Jewel Lloyd on her. They got Jackie Young off of her, and then Jackie Young had fresher legs to go and went on a scoring run in the third, and it just freed her up a lot. They switched her back at certain points, but they freed her up a lot to actually get her legs under her so she could go score for them because they needed her to go score. With all that said, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the game. What were your big takeaways? And again, I'm not crashing out yet. I mean, I know this team will find themselves. I know that this stretch is going to be tough, and as a fan, it's going to be hard to keep the faith. I know many of you are going to want to still say that the vets are bad and the front office is terrible and the coaching staff is terrible. But I guarantee you it's not as bad as it feels right now. And I mean, I could give in, I could feed you the comfort food that this is true, but from what I'm seeing, it's still a team that's just been disrupted a lot by injury, by personal stuff that's going on with the players. And yes, there is some culpability of the front office putting this team together and not finding some other talent, but I also don't fault them for bringing in some of the talent they did because of perceived fit and performance last year even, and some of these players just not kind of living up to it, or not fitting, not getting enough reps in the scheme to really take off. So I think that will happen with time. The problem is we're not getting the consistent time, and so everything just kind of looks rough, and we're still in like an early season phase when we could be, you know, running and sprinting and having more of these good moments. And while the Liberty moment was a big uplift and some of, you know, fighting through some of the Caitlin Clark injuries, now we're kind of seeing the toll that's still kind of being taken. And, you know, we'll get through it. We'll get through it. So with all that said, I would like you to know that you're going to be amazing today because you are amazing. I'll catch you next episode.